Let me share the screen. Okay, so we'll start our monthly May meeting. Hello, everyone. This is Akiko Miyamoto. Today's agenda. This is not April. This is May. May meeting agenda. Nihongo-de-USA LLC introduction. Winning the game of capitalism. Getting out of the rat race by building assets and pass them on to over tax-free to your next generation. Today is number 3. We'll talk about the housing market and expat traffic and investment opportunities, and then owner change properties. Creation of an environment where people can open up their potential and discovery of Japan's new role in the United States is Nihongo-de-USA's purpose. As of 2023, we provide 2 main services: creation and management of rental housing for expatriate families from Japan, and asset building assistance through U.S. real estate. We will continue to expand our services throughout the United States and to develop a Japantown. Nihongo-de-USA's one-stop real estate service. There are about 700 Japanese expats come over to Central Ohio alone. Those expats are told to lease a home by their company rule, and during their 4 to 5 year overseas work assignment, they have to lease a home. So when they come to us for help of a home search, we identify homes that's for lease, and when there is no homes for lease available for particular needs of the expatriates family, we show them houses on the market. When they identify the house they want to move in, we match make the opportunity with investors. Particular investors who are interested in purchasing the home for the particular expat purchase the home. We help that purchase process at closing or during the transaction. We prepare lease agreement, and at closing, the Japanese expat family moves in. We property manage, and we also help you refinance your current investments, or find a way where you can find your down payment for the next property. We also consult for the time of your exit plan. Current Nihongo-de-USA team members, we have Ohio team, Alabama team, Indiana team, Kentucky, Michigan, and California and Hawaii. We have all the partner realtors throughout the nation and also in Mexico now. We're developing right now nihongodekentucky.com site and also Nihongo de Mexico site. So if you ever have any needs of buying the properties anywhere in United States and even in Mexico, please come to us. We are sure we can help you. All right, today's seminar. Let me briefly introduce myself. Akiko Miyamoto. I'm a real estate investor myself and also a founder of Nihongo-de-USA. I moved to Columbus area from Tokyo in 2010. I got licensed to be a realtor in 2011 and started the matchmaking of rental home needs of Japanese expats and interest of long-term tenants from investors together. Since 2012 through now, we purchased 13 different homes. As under my and husband's property, we keep 9 properties. And then, or actually 10 properties. And then now that as Nihongo-de-USA, we started to purchase properties for expats as well. We own 2 properties, one in Dublin and one in Lafayette, Indiana. And now our staff members are purchasing a home in Dublin, Ohio, and we're waiting for closing next Monday, May 8th. And so not only just us, but the company, but also the people, staff members who work for Nihongo-de-USA can enjoy the capital gain, income gain of the properties that we place tenants in. So today, what actually happened in the investment over 11 years? I wanted to talk about the very first property we purchased in Dublin area in Ohio. We have quite a bit of history because we purchased this home in August of 2012. And I want to go into details of what has happened to this particular property and see if there is anything we can learn from our experience. So this property actually sit in the city of Powell on street Renfrew. We captured this property because this sat in the Dublin City School in 2012. There was a Honda supplier family looking for a house. Their budget was $2,250 a month. So when they came to look for a house, there was no house in Dublin City School for lease. And we showed this property that just came up on the market. The family really liked it. They were moving from Michigan. And they had a particular time the husband had to move in to a house or move into Ohio somewhere and start the work. So we had a deadline and we identified this is a good home for them. At that time, this 4-bed, 2.5 baths and 2-car garage built in 1992, 2,100 square feet was for sale. We purchased this home for $214,500 and we financed 70% of the value, $147,000 at 5.75%. And the monthly payment of PITI came to $1,526. So with the 30% down payment and closing cost, we invested $66,409. Later, we refinanced this property twice, but let's just move on to what has happened chronologically since the capture of the property. So our motivation again to purchase this property was we had a tenant at closing, so therefore we decided to buy this house. The rent was $2,250 provided by the supplier company, and our payment was $1,526. So we knew we'll have a cash flow of $724. At closing on August 24th, 2012, we did carpet cleaning and house cleaning, and tenant moved in 4 days later. And then they lived in this house through June 1st of 2014. They lived in this house for 21 months. This was our actual first investment property in this area. So therefore, we had to put down 30%. That was lender's requirement. And we thought that was a little bit heavier than 20%, the normal minimal down payment for investment property. However, as a result, we had a better cash flow. So lesson learned is that you can actually manipulate your own cash flow. Nowadays, that property value is higher. Sometimes that if you only put down 20%, you hardly ever show any cash flow. But like we did, 30% was a requirement, but still you can choose to put down 30% or 35% to realize whatever the cash flow you feel comfortable to own and manage a property. We recommend at least you have 10% of your rent as cash flow. So if any kind of repair request comes in, needs come in, you're not totally upside down from the beginning. You have some cash flow to place for repair cost. So this is how it happened with us. And then we had a chance to refinance the property because the interest rate dropped. So December 19th of 2013, we refinanced the house with no cash out. It used to be 5.75% interest rate. We were able to drop it down to 4.75%. The monthly PITI, principal, interest, tax, and insurance dropped from $1,526 to $1,288. Cash flow grew from $724 to $962. So cash flow can be better, and you can make it better whenever the interest rate of the mortgage drops. You can always refinance to make your cash flow better. And then tenant moved out, and we decided to do the renovation. We had quite a bit of healthy cash flow, and we were able to put some cash aside. So when tenant moved out on June 1st, we decided to do the renovation work for $6,000 worth. And then July 2014, we started to look for a new tenant for the same price, $2,250. Here, we experienced something difficult. We experienced 6 months vacancy. At this time, our mind was we want to find another family, expat family coming from Japan. We didn't list our property in open market. And so therefore, we were not looking for a local tenant. Now, 12 years later, we look back on this time, we feel silly because we should have captured somebody else outside of the expat family who were looking to move into this house. And we could have realized better cash flow and better income gain. However, at this point, we didn't have that in our mind. However, by then, we captured 2 more homes. So we actually owned 3 properties, and income from 2 other properties helped us pay 3 mortgage payments. So we thought, it's okay. Instead of trying to capture a local tenant who could move out a lot quicker than expatriate family coming from Japan, we decided to keep this house vacant. So right now, when this kind of thing happens with our clients, especially now with Intel coming into town, LG, Honda, joint venture starting electric vehicle plant, we do not recommend our clients to do this. But instead, if there is no traffic from Japan, expatriate family, let's capture a local tenant because there is so many people moving into this area from within other areas of Ohio and also other states. And there are people who are having a hard time trying to buy a house because of the tight inventory. So therefore, there is plenty of renters who are high income, enough great background. And so we recommend you, our clients, not to make the same mistakes as we did. But I consider myself and husband to be an R&D for our clients in the future. So therefore, we're making mistakes for you in advance. So laugh at us and learn from our mistakes. So in 6 months, we finally captured another expatriate family from Japan. At this point, we were desperate because of 2 reasons. Because it's been vacant for 6 months. At the same time, winter months are approaching. I do not recommend any of you to keep the house vacant in winter months because even though we property manage for you and we come to visit your house, but what are the chances will be right at the moment of something happened to the house. We actually had one incident during last winter. We were property managing this house. However, the owner decided to vacate the house before they sell the home. So therefore, we learned that in very, very cold day, there was explosion, burst the water in the pipe bursted. So something unhappy happened. In any way, so we decided to capture this tenant, even though his company budget was 1,850. So after a few years of the first tenant, we had to decide that we're gonna lease this house for less than we originally rented. Now I look back on this time, why not? Because of our refi, especially PITI was only $1,288. If we can capture $1,850 a month, why not, right? We still have cash flow of 562. And I am glad that we made this decision to have this tenant move in because this tenant lived for 35 months. There's often we have opposition from our client. Well, this rent is not as high as the last tenant, but I advise now that what is your monthly payment of the mortgage? Once you capture the tenant, you can start working on increasing the rent amount in the future or refinancing and making your payment lower so you realize a better cash flow. But when it's vacant, it's really hard to catch up with how much you lost with higher rent. So we now recommend, as long as that the rent coming in is higher than your monthly payment, if your tenant has a very good background, in this case, that expat's family, the company pays for the rental amount. So there is no chance of no payment of the rent. So we decided to have them move in. So after 35 months, in August of 2017, this family was assigned back to Japan, went back to Japan. Luckily, we had a Honda expat family who just was about to get kicked out of the house. The housing price has gone down quite a bit by 2017 since the last crash of the housing bubble. So therefore, there are more than a few owners who were selling their homes and kicking their tenants out. This family was one of them. When they approached us to look for a short-term house, this house was about to be vacant. So we showed this house to the family and they liked the home. And because they are not being able to lease more than 12 months, they said there's no need of renovation or repairs. They'll move in as is. So that was lucky for us too. And we had no vacancy, about 10 days for cleaning. And then this tenant moved in for 2,100. So it's a better cash flow and no vacancy. And this tenant moved out on April 20th after 8 months. After that, we did cleaning and then replaced washer and dryer for $1,200. Again, we didn't experience any vacancy whatsoever. On May 1st, we were able to place another expat family for $2,000. We learned the lesson. It doesn't matter how much the rent is, as long as it's greater than how much we're paying off the mortgage, and that has enough cash flow for the repairs, we say yes now. So after May 1st through, sorry, where did it go? July of, sorry, I found it. January 19th, 2023, this tenant stayed for 56 months. So we typically write 35 months lease. So initially this Honda tenant moved in for 2000, but then when there was a time of renewal, we were able to raise the rent amount from 2000 to 2200, and our cash flow grew, and they rented through January 19th of 2023. We write a lease agreement. The tenant gives 60-day notice. So before they moved out in January, we had plenty of time to look for next tenant. We started to show the house, and we were able to identify the next tenant before they actually moved out. Before their move out, we had a chance to have a second refinance. You might remember during the COVID, it was a great opportunity to refi all of your higher rate mortgages. Our rate was 3.99%. If you're financing your own home, you might have experienced even all the way down to 2% something. But because it was an investment property and also refi, the best rate we were able to capture was 3.99%. July 21st, 2021, this property we captured for $214,500, was appraised for $354,000. And for people who have attended our seminar, understand that you can refi your investment property up to 75% of property value. So we were capable of refinancing up to $265,500 being the equity. So we refinanced for $225,045 at 3.99% and cashed out the rest. So it was appraised for, oh, it's wrong here, 354 minus 225. So I have to see if the calculation is right again. 354 minus 225,045, $128,955, and paid off our HELOC balance from buying 9 other properties by then, since the property 3 Sutter Parkway. So at this point, the interest rate was lower, and we kept buying properties after this one. And whenever we were able to identify a tenant or the property that's attractive to be able to lease to expatriate family, we didn't wait until we save up enough money for the down payment, because we were able to use HELOC. So whenever HELOC amount is available, we are buying one after another. And after we capture the houses with the cash flow balance, we were paying off HELOC amount as we had cash. But the HELOC accumulated because we played very aggressively to buy one property each year. So we had quite a bit of balance on HELOC. And so therefore, when we had this chance of refinancing, and this was the oldest property that had enough equity built up, we thought it was a good opportunity for us to cash out the balance or the equity and then pay off the HELOC. The HELOC, unlike the mortgages, it's not a fixed rate loan. So we felt pretty good to paying down quite a bit of amount of HELOC balance. And then after refi, the monthly payment amount went up to 1,437. So our cash flow went down to 763. But this is by choice. That's enough cash flow for this property for us. We wanted to pay off the HELOC balance. This time, this tenant moved out January 19th in 2023. Like I said, they gave us 60-day notice, so we were able to identify the fourth tenant before they moved out. So they moved out in January. This tenant was not moving in, was not coming to from Japan to this area until March 21st. So we knew we had some time, over a month. So we decided to do the renovation for $11,800. Now, you know, we did the renovation a while ago, and this was back in 2014. And because of this renovation work, we were able to place two tenants without any work. So therefore, it was time for us to do a little bit of facelifting. We did the carpet change, made it into flooring, and then we did the fresh coat of paint. So we were hoping with this renovation that we don't have to do a renovation for the next tenant placement, and we'll see how it goes. But right now, doctor moved in March 21st, and the rent we raised to $2,500, and our monthly payment is $1,437. So we realized a greater cash flow of $1,063 right now. As you know, in 2022, 2023, housing price, the average price of housing in Greater Columbus went up by 23%. Our rent went up crazy too. So when we agreed to $2,500, we felt it was a great increase in lease. But I assume this property could have been leased for right now for $2,800 for this property's condition. But still, we're happy to be able to capture this tenant. And then next time we have an opportunity to raise rent, we plan to do that. So this is the, as of December of last year, 2022, this is the capture of capital gain and income gain, and both together. We purchased this home August 24th, 2012, in the amount of $214,500. How much invested is $66,409. And now we'll be able to sell this house for $425,000. Loan balance, $225,045. So the equity is how much we can sell for minus loan balance, $199,955, in comparison to originally invested amount of $66,409. We realized 301% return, 301%, yeah. Now income gain, the how much we invested, again the same, $66,409, and then total income of the rent accumulated $244,433. How much we paid to the mortgages, total of $166,053, and other renovation and expenses comes to $31,260. So cash flow is how much we made in total, 244,433 minus how much you paid into mortgage payment and expenses. The difference is $47,120. The return in comparison to originally invested 66,409 is 70%. So the cash flow this year is a little bit lower in comparison to last year, end of last year, because we invested $11,800 of cash for renovation. However, we can, if we decide to sell this property, we will be able to, because as the tenant moves out, we are doing renovation little by little. So $425,000 comes from at this level of renovation. If we do a little bit higher renovation, we can ask for a little bit more. Now, capital gain, income gain combined together comes to $247,075. How much invested recently is $66,409. So the return is 372%. Now, don't forget, we cashed out $119,955. Now, I realize that there is a little bit of a calculation error, but we cashed out a little bit more than 199. If we stick with, for the sake of now, the total is $67,030. So in the end, for the amount we put in originally for 66,409, we realized 552% return. So I'm not sure how you enjoy the detailed explanation of what happened to this property one that we purchased in 2012. If you enjoy this detailed caption of the property, I am happy to continue on to property 2 through property 12. But if you want me to, give you more overall return and capital gain numbers, I'm more than happy to do that next week. So I would like to listen to your opinions and feedback. So I'll decide how move on to other properties in the end and come to conclusion. Miki, today we are having a golden week. So Japan has a 1 week off for a holiday in the end of April through the beginning of May. So it's only me, but Miki was able to prepare this investment opportunity area capture of different areas that we work on. If you're interested in getting this, you're happy. I'm more than happy if you take the screenshot right now, or we're happy to give this presentation that we have today to you. So if you're interested in having our presentation material, please let Miki know when she comes back from her vacation on May 6th. She is happy to send you this presentation. Now let's move on to the market update. I'll start with Ohio. In Dublin area, here is the March update. Closed volume in comparison to last year, 2022, 83 to this year, 75. So you can see that there's a smaller number of closing happening. Year to date, same thing. Last year was 207, this year 176. It's getting very, very tight to buy a home. In contracts, 121 down to 90 again. This is the March month entire, so 25% less. Average sales price, median sales price. I typically look at median sales price over average sales price because average sales price is the total number of houses, total number of closed house prices divided by the number of the houses. So if there is a high-end, high price property closed in this year, that throws the price off, right? On the other hand, median sale price is that if there are 90 properties sold in months of March, you line them up in order and you capturing the middle price of the actual house. So there was actually a house sold for $475,000 that was in the positioned in the middle from the lowest to highest. So instead of $475,000 is the actual house price. In comparison to last year's 430, price went up by 10%. Average price per square foot, I do not like it because this is average again, but it's $221 this year. Percentage of original list price received is 100.8%. It's smaller than last year, and year to date, it is less than 100% now, 99.7%. What this means is that not all the houses receive multiple offer, and then some of the houses have to drop their prices. That's what it means. I can see that when the housing market is too hot, occasionally you see overpriced properties. So I think it's only fair for overpriced property to be sold at less than 100% listing price. So those are happening while we are still in multiple offer situation in Dublin City schools. Days on market until sale. It was 11 days, crazy last year, now back to 30 days. So it takes about average of 30 days to go into contract. That's getting a little healthier market, I believe, while that less new listings are coming in, last year 113 to 107. If the days on market until sale is going up, meaning that maybe it's hitting the highest top price right now and trying to price adjust. So that's really a good news, because it's still, if you try to capture a house which is listed at the market price, not overpriced property, if you try to be able to have your offer received, you have to eliminate appraisal clause, you have to eliminate repair to request condition. Otherwise, your offer wouldn't be taken. But as a realtor, that's really not healthy way to purchase a house, and I do not think it's a healthy market anyway. So therefore, I actually like that days on market going up, because that means there are more houses coming up where you can make an offer and ask for inspection and request a remedy in appraisal. Median list price at the time of sale versus new listing. So median list price of new listing is 525 and time of sale is 469.9. So meaning that it's dropping, but there is about a month or so difference, right? If March of median list price of new listing is 525, and then March of list price at time of sale is 469. We're talking about time of sale was listed back in February, so you cannot necessarily say the price has dropped from 525 at the time of listing to closing. Instead, maybe March houses, there were less priced houses listed and closing in March for 469,900. The way to compare is to last year, February of last year. New listing in February closed in March for 395. Now this year 469.9 went up by 19%. New listing price has gone up by 10% as well. Inventory of homes for sale, 64 up to 81. Again, there are overpriced listings showing up, so therefore it's taking longer to go into contract. That means inventory of home is getting greater. That is a great news, because if we close 75 houses in March and then 81 houses are in the inventory, that's going to be more than 30 days on market until sale, right? Months of supply of inventory has gone up from 0.5 to 0.9. 0.9 means almost 1 month supply in this market. So we continue to see how it goes. However, we still experience multiple offer situations in this local market. Now let's move on to Madison City School District, which is a suburb of Huntsville. March 2022, new listings were 175. This year, March, 164. So in this area, the new listings has gone down. And percentage of pending sale, more houses went into contract, 159 to 161. Closed sale, 178 down to 134. So less, wow, 25% less closed in the month of March alone. Let's look at rolling 12 months, 2,348 down to 1,034. So it's different from doubling Ohio market. It's still getting tighter. Now days on market until sale went up significantly, 450%. So from 8 days to 44 days. Rolling 12 months, 10 days up to 16 days. This area is still coming up with a lot of new builds that might have something to do with helping days of market possibility. We need to invite Natsuki from Huntsville area next month, and then we'll listen to what she says about this market. Median sale price, 365,500 to 367,000. It seems like it's just being stabilized, median sales price. But if you compare in the past 12 months, last year, rolling 12 months is 344,720. Now this year is 386,500, has gone up 12%. We'll see how it goes. Maybe March alone, it's getting stable. Hopefully it might be the case in April. If it's the case, maybe it's time, time is coming for us to be able to buy in Madison too, because as you can see, the days of market has been crazy last year. So it was very, very hard to buy. Percentage of list price received, again, good news, 102.3% to 99.5%. Yeah, it might be showing it's a good time to buy. Inventory also grew from 157 to 277. Then month supply of inventory, 0.9, less than 1 month to double, more than double, 2.1 months. So it just shows that it's getting stable. And as you can see that we always say, oh, we wished we bought in, whatever. So this is the time that its market is stabilized before it start going up with the interest rate so high. The market is becoming stable. Now the time to capture. We'll have one new built home available less than $300,000 in Madison area, Madison City School, where the school level is high. If you're interested in capturing anything in Madison, we have one investment property available less than $300,000 in Madison. It's a new build. So please contact Miki if you're interested in that house. And this is February and March of Novi single family home. Let's look at the March, see what's happening in Novi, Michigan. Novi, Michigan is the most condensed Japanese population. And number 2 is Dublin, Ohio. So Novi is just like Dublin of Ohio and Madison of Alabama. 2022 new listing 79, down 35%. Wow, 51 houses. Pending sale 59 to 31. Closed sale 59 to 27. Wow, half that. Days on the market. So less homes are closing, but days on market until sale, it's going up from 10 days to 26 days. Median sale price went up from 470 to 475. Hey, again, it's just being stable. Great news. And then average sales price has gone down. This again, I do not take anything serious about average sales price because you're dividing the total sales figures by the number of the houses. If there's a high-end or low-end houses mixed up in this such a small number of pool of homes, anything could happen to the average sale price. So medium sales price is 475. That's a great news. Percent of list received is 103.6% to 98.7%. That again is a great news. I think it's coming to time for you to be able to capture in Novi again if you're interested in buying this area. Inventory of home for sale is 71 to 54. The months of supply of inventory is about the same. As you can see, Novi, Michigan, the price has gone up, so it's getting very expensive. But at the same time, there are areas outside of immediate Novi area where the other Japanese expats are moving in. If you're interested in seeing those more close information, we're happy to share that with you. Please write to us again for that information. Investment opportunity type 1, meaning that just like our traditional way, we have the tenant first, and then you capture or buy a house for the particular family so they can move in after closing, and we can prepare a lease agreement while you're closing the property. So landlord wanted in Ohio and Alabama. One family looking for a house. Their budget is $2,300 from their housing property tax and return. We're saying probably the maximum house value of $330,000. They have 4 years assignment left for this time of visa, but there is a chance that they might renew the work visa. They need to know if they'll be able to move out this time to the apartment. So the time is kind of ticking. Today is May 2nd. They have to be able to say to the apartment that they are not renewing the lease agreement by the end of this May. So if you're interested in capturing this family, please let us know. Moving is mid-July. So if you can identify a house and you close in a month's time, will be a good timing for them to be able to move in after cleaning of the house. We have one family looking for $2,300 rent for 3-bed. Anywhere across the street of Sawmill area from Ohio State Airport might be an area you might be still able to find the houses around $300,000 price range to capture this family for $2,300. Washington Courthouse, because of LG and Honda joint venture electric vehicle battery plant being assembled together there. There are 10 single family homes being wanted. According to Honda HR, they are paying $1,700 to $2,000, but there are only like 20 houses for sale right now in the area. and they realized that leasing those homes for $1,700 is difficult. They'd rather move into a better living condition than they have to move into the area they do not want to by sticking for $1,700. So therefore, they are willing to pay more, closer to $2,000. Washington courthouse has lower property tax, so therefore it's easier for you to capture income gain than any Dublin or Hilliard area. If you're interested in buying, please let us know. We have a local partner realtor that work with us, and we property manage currently 4 houses in Washington courthouse. So we're becoming very familiar with that area. We didn't have any problem identifying tenants in 3 of the houses. One house is we just captured the tenant because that house sits in a slightly different kind of housing development, if you know what I mean. Madison School, just I said, there is a new built home opportunity, 3-bedroom for $279,000. Alabama has a lot lower property tax rate. So it's easy for you to be able to have a great cash flow. Currently, Mazda Honda Expat housing allowance is $2,300. You probably be able to attract those families with this brand new home. So if you're interested, please write to Miki. Current expat traffic, 12 families in Dublin, Ohio, Huntsville, Madison, Alabama area, 2 families. We just moved 8 or 10 families or 10 expats, Tanshin, single, into apartment buildings. So Mazda Toyota sources us whenever they have new expats coming in from Japan to this area in Alabama. So if you're interested in capturing the 279,000 you built, please contact us. Indiana, we have 1 single expat and 1 family coming in. Indiana is also a great area to capture homes at lower price than Dublin and Michigan. If you're taking a break because of the housing price has gone up in Ohio area, about $400,000, maybe you can come to Indiana as well. And this is the area Purdue University is, not just Subaru and other Japanese companies. So therefore, if you're interested in capturing this area's rent, please come speak to us. We have a local realtor that will working with you, right? So there are houses that are coming up for sale in Dublin, Ohio area. The prices are going up to 400,000 and above. However, if you come to nihongo-de-usa.com/sale/, this is the house list of owners looking to exit, because those are the owners who realize that 4th straight year tax break depreciation in Japan, and it's coming to the 5th year. They are exiting to realize the capital gain, and they had plenty of income gain because of different tax structure in Japan. And if you're interested in buying these houses, there might be an opportunity by us giving them a straight offer good enough. They might not list on MLS, so you might be able to avoid multiple offer situation. As a result, you might be capturing this house with inspection conditions and appraisal condition. So if you're interested in, those homes, please come to nihongo-de-usa.com/sale. Here is a home bought in client annual review. When your renewal time comes, renewal day is the first day of your closing with us. When that comes, before that, you hear from us. We'll review how much equity you built just like we explained in today's property, you have realized some equities, you have an opportunity to refinance. I mean, today, the interest rate is higher probably than the time of you first acquired property. At that time, what we recommend is either HELOC, or you also can pay points to reduce your interest rate. The house that member of Nihongo-de-USA are buying together was 6.5% after they purchased some points. So it's possible still to capture housing with the financing. Just we're happy to connect with you with our financial advisor and lender, so you'll be able to, understand, in order for you to capture a certain amount of house for certain cash flow. Just like I said, cash flow is something you create by deciding how much down payment you're going to put down. Of course, the payment is higher now because interest rate is high. But as you know, US cannot continue to keep this high interest rate. When the price or rate drops, you can always refinance, like you've seen us refinance twice with our property in Powell. HomeBot gives you an idea of how much you can sell the house for. This is actually great for us because we are a multi-state operation. In Dublin, when I look at the housing price going up and down, so month to month, I kind of laugh at it because I'm a local realtor, understand the price doesn't go up and down that quickly and changes so much. But when it comes to the properties we own in Indiana and Kentucky or Michigan, I do not have the first-hand experience by offering or selling. So therefore, it gives some idea of how much the prices are. So it's very helpful. So if you could look at these numbers that way, we greatly appreciate it. If your property happen not to be in this HomeBot, you might not be our client. If you're interested, we're happy to put your property on, and so you can start observing this, your property value. All right, thank you very much. I'd like to hear your feedback about today's seminar, so I will know how detailed talk should I have over 12 other properties, or I should just skip and hop and only talk about numbers for the next opportunity, which is June 6th at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. I'll stop the